What is up, gang? Happy Tuesday. My name is Justin, aka No Good Comics, and we are going with another Omni X-Men episode. But of course, I got to bring in my co-host and good friend, John from John's Comics with Kids. John, what's up, brother? Nice shirt, man.
I'm not backstage, people. I am not backstage. I am front stage. It is happening.
Wait a sec. So, all right. So let's redo this real quick, and we're gonna restart the music here. Just kidding.
Shenanigans, man. I love the turkeys.
right. You know, just a little holiday, extra for those who are in the States.
So good.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
How you doing,
I live
man?
for Mutant Monday, even though this is technically Technical Tuesday.
That's all right. Still counts. We'll go with it. Oh, good, man. Yeah, we're getting close. The holidays are here, so I know it's crazy for all of us. But hey, we're gonna break down 138. It's gonna be a good time, and of course, we have a guest with us today, as we usually do. This guest, I believe, is the first time on this particular show. He and I have teamed up before. I think you two have teamed up before.
Definitely.
Either way, though, yeah, we got to bring my man Verno on from the Cerebros, which fits this show perfectly. What's up, brother?
What is going on, gentlemen? What's up, man? Stoked to be doing this. Excited. I actually haven't talked much X-Men in a while, so
nice.
Especially classic X-Men. So I'm really excited about this.
Very cool, very cool. And you got your omnibus like stacked behind you. Looks very nice, perfect for the show.
Thank you.
Love it. So yeah, thanks for being with us. I know you've seen the show before. We're just gonna have some fun here, breaking down some 138. As you mentioned while we were backstage, this is definitely a little bit of an oddball issue. Not the typical of what we've read recently, but we'll definitely get into those.
I know
details.
It's one of JP's all-time favorite issues.
Oh, okay.
Just because of his love for Cyclops, I think it really it brings out a lot of joy for him this issue.
Yep. I the minute you said that, I had to like triple think of what you were saying, but yeah, I think.
Brandon loves it too. I don't want to just say JP.
That's true.
Brandon,
don't just single out JP as the only fan. So before we say hello to the chat, if you all are, whoever's watching right now or on the replay, if you're not subbed up to these two gentlemen here, or actually these two gentlemen, make sure you do so. I put Verno's information in the description, your Instagram and YouTube as well. I'm glad that you've kind of jumped over to the YouTube side of things as well. So good to have you there. And then of course, if you want to catch next episode next week, you got to be following John as well. So, if you've unsubscribed to him several times, well, subscribe to him again, give him a shot, at least for next Tuesday.
I'm just saying.
Let's
and we got Chet next week, and we're doing an annual. It's not we're jumping a little out of strict numerology of Uncanny, so just be ready for that next week.
Good call. All right, let's say a quick hello to the chat, and then we'll dive into this issue. We got, of course, our good friend Brandon, aka Comics Kings, hanging out with us. What's going on, Brandon? Good to see you, man. Extended Mutant Monday, absolutely. We also have Jennifer, Comics Will Break Your Heart. It was just her birthday. Happy birthday.
Girl.
Yes,
Happy
today is
birthday.
her birthday. Yes. Thank you so much, Jennifer, for hanging out with us here on your special birthday. I hope you're celebrating all week, though, and it doesn't just stop here. We got Ruben Guzman in the house, White Tiger, or Cool Calm Collected, saying Cowabunga fam. What's going on, brother? Thanks for stopping in. We have our good friend Ryan, aka Magic Lasso, says, question, why did Cyclops quit teaching the X-Men? Answer, because he was down to one pupil. Yeah, that's Ryan, folks. Always bringing us the fire. Appreciate you, brother.
Is that what it is?
We got my man Eric Azor's Tiger in the house, throwing up his X's. He's going to be on the show again soon. Looking forward to it.
We don't have Ryan on here. I realize. Ryan, get your gears together.
I thought
Lasso's on the very last one.
That's his strategy, so he can get all the points, and then
I'm watching him, man.
Yeah, no,
Azor's on all those key issues. I noticed, man.
He is on there.
Got all the best ones.
He's got a couple of good ones. He does.
That he does.
That guy.
Speaking of diehard fans of Cyclops, we got our good friend JP calling you out on your lateness. So actually, he just says they're late. So I'm assuming he's talking about you.
I barely made it, legitimately. Two traffic lights, and I'm still outside getting in the car.
Oh man. Let's see. Yeah, Eric says, "Man, I wish my phone would plug in the names like on the computer." Oh, I think they're. Oh yeah, I know what you mean, man. You can't like tag people on the phone.
Yeah, that's the drawback. You start typing the @ symbol, it doesn't auto populate. Yeah,
Yep.
It's a drag.
JP, John made the show. Yeah. Yeah.
I got lucky. Rolled the dice, and you never know what you're going to get.
Sometimes it works
It's
out.
a Thanksgiving miracle.
Sometimes. Oh, my goodness. We have Jackson Roy Kirk in the house as well, saying hello, folks. Good to see you, my friend. We also have Bleecker Street hanging out with us. What's going on, Bleecker Street? Yo. Let's see. He says, if only Cyclops had never come back, then maybe it would be. Oh, spoilers.
His departure
Spoilers.
didn't last long. I will legitimately say that. And then he departs again in about like 50 issues or whatever.
Yeah.
Departs again.
Roy Kirk says, I couldn't stay away from this issue. Chet here in the house. What's going on, Chet, at night? I'm curious. I'm sure he has like a 10.0 of this or something.
No, he mentioned it in a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a sad one. I mean, I'm shocked. Low grade.
Oh, correction. Jackson Roy Kirk couldn't stay awake for that one. Okay.
Couldn't stay awake.
Yeah.
Couldn't stay away or couldn't stay awake. I mean,
awake. Okay, 9-2, Black Signature Stanley.
9-2 is like, that's
falling
trash,
short.
right?
Yeah,
that's
falling
like,
short for Chet.
Hacking material at this point for that guy.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'll take it. If you want to get rid of it and upgrade, you just let me know. I'm happy to take that off your hands for you.
I'm sure he's rolling right now. What's up, Dan?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Dan Delatorre in the house as well.
That's
good to see
keeping
you.
Tables balanced a little wobbly. That 9-2 underneath.
We got my man Jason Claiming Comics also hanging out with us. What's going on?
I got to get to New York area because all you guys seem to get together at Zap Comics every week. So if I don't get over there, I'm not getting
the hangout.
Anything.
It is the hangout, man. It is the place to be. Hey, we got Flashpoint in the house. What's going on, Flashpoint? Thanks for stopping by. Y'all make sure to smash that like button if you haven't already. And there you go. Don't tempt me. I'll replace it like 129.
You replace it, and then I'll take that. I'll take that one. I'll take that 9.2. That horrible ultra low grade 9.2.
Wait, Cyclops likes some milk drama to get attention? No way, JP. All right, let's get into this issue here because I don't know how if this is going to be long or short or we're going to try to keep
it's
it.
hard to know,
normal.
right?
Yeah.
How deep do we dive on this?
Right. I'm not sure how because we could technically break down each issue. I'm going to start, John, with you with your initial thoughts. How did you feel overall about this issue and how would you grade it?
And we all mentioned it. This is a tricky issue to grade. I think it depends a ton on when you first experienced it. Shout out to my man Cave, who was in the chat. I think I was irritating him a little bit 2 weeks ago when we were discussing the issue because he's like, you got to get out of the headset of being an adult reading these. You got to get back into being a kid. You can't let the grind of being an adult ruin what is like a joy of reading these comics as a kid, because that's how they were designed when Claremont was writing these, right?
Yeah.
But so this issue for me fits into that category. Man Cave should be proud of me. Like, I read this young. And this was one of those first issues. I legitimately read this and not the classic X-Men issue version, right? I read the actual issue. And my copy, I have owned this for a really long time. This copy, it's why it's so faded and looks like it's.
Yeah, I'm like, where'd you get the white version?
Yeah, I got the white variant. Notice
the white variant.
The title X-Men looks white and not yellow, right? It's definitely faded.
I'm comparing it to the thing below me here. It's just such a difference.
Yeah, that's yellow.
Yeah,
the little logo here, that's white. Right? But for me, like, the joy of it was, and I was telling Verno before we went live, the joy of it for me was I had really gotten into this whole X-Men universe through classic X-Men. And at the time they were at issue like 200 somewhere. And I was reading classic X-Men. And I never really knew the origin stuff. I never really read the OG Stan Lee stuff.
Right.
And the beauty of this comic for me as a kid was like, wow, like it's the entire story of the team.
Yep.
Through the eyes of a founding member who's been there the whole time.
Yeah.
And really is one of the only team members who has been there the whole time, because Jean's been in and out in the hospital and in the psych ward or whatever you want to say.
Right.
Hanging out with Misty Knight and her piece. And so in that way, for me as a kid, like I really enjoyed, it felt like an issue of comics that was like, here's everything you missed.
Yep.
And it was a clever way to do it because a main character was dealing with a trauma. And rather than just breeze through it and have him just brooding in the background, it was like, it was a chance for us to have to sit on his shoulder while he reminisced.
Yeah.
So I mean, my grade is much higher than I think most people would give, and I'm going to go 9.0 on this. I do think it's very entertaining, and I do think it's very well done for what it is. But I also know that it's like that episode of your favorite TV show where they decide to recap the entire series just because they want to rope in a couple of new viewers.
Yeah.
And I understand that can be exhausting and frustrating. But for me, like, I really appreciated getting the insight and having it all funneled through a character that I really enjoyed and his tragedy that he's dealing with.
Yeah. No, I think that all makes sense. I mean, I think I'm right around there with you of how you explain that. But Verno, what about you? What were your initial thoughts here, and how would you grade this on a scale?
It's fun. You could almost look at it. I like what you said, John. Like, if you look at it as a child, and especially then, you didn't have the resource of the internet. Like, couldn't get this information many other ways other than some dude telling you at the comic shop, or you know what I mean. So it's actually like a resource, especially back then. So it's helpful for that, and it's cool also just to see John Byrne drawing like the version of the team from X-Men #1, some of the classic villains and stuff like that. It's a little. I was shocked because I read it in book form, and then I have it here on Marvel Unlimited. I was shocked to find that it's only 19 pages long, because it does feel like it's like 1900 pages long. Like, it's a long read.
Yep.
It's 138 issues long.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's cool. It's entertaining. They do a good job with it for what it is. And like you said, like, told through the perspective of Cyclops after this trauma. And I've been watching the show. I see a lot of Cyclops hate. I see it down in the chat. I don't like it. All right. Because I actually like Cyclops, especially in this era and in the 90s.
Yeah, we got 3 Cyclops fans on this show. In your face, Brandon.
I think he's super interesting, and he's not at all like what you hear is people call him the Boy Scout, but he's not, man. He's always screwing up. He fails as a father. He fails as a boyfriend. He fails later as a husband. Yeah. You know what I mean? He's thinking about other women. He's always screwing up, and he is always like struggling with it on the inside. He's always thinking, "Oh God, I'm screwing up." So
he's the quintessential firstborn in that way, right? That firstborn child mentality is like all through his life,
right? And plus, he's got an underestimated or underappreciated origin story. Like, I want the MCU, the first X-Men movie, to start with the Summers family in the plane. He's falling out of the sky. You know what I mean? Like, that would be, a lot of people don't know about his parents and their deal with Shi'ar space and all that. Like, it's a cool origin story. That
Space pirates, man. Space pirates.
Right. So, but I dug it. I'm supposed to grade the thing on a scale of 1.
Yeah, like a CGC grade.
Of like a CGC grade. Yeah. How would you grade it?
Gosh, that's funny because like I don't have a single thing graded, and the way that
awesome,
the way that
man,
I know
that's so freaking cool,
right?
Yeah,
I know you guys operate like probably anything less than a 9 is terrible.
No, honestly, I didn't even have legitimately, I didn't own a graded comic until about 3 years ago.
Oh,
so
really?
like, I'm not that guy. And most of my collection is raw. Like 90% of my collection is raw.
I'm like hesitant to even call myself a comic collector because I know how I am. Like, it could get crazy. So if I get one graded comic, then it's over. But anyway, I'll grade this like legit, like significantly lower, because for me, it's not that. It really gets more fun after it gets where they're talking about the Claremont era and stuff I'm more familiar with.
Sure.
So I'll say like an 8.5. Like, it's cool and the art is amazing and it's interesting, but it's a little boring. You know what I mean? It's a little slow.
For sure. Like, I can totally see that perspective. And
yeah,
JP with the best comment.
Yeah, JP's been he's been throwing them out there.
He's shooting shots.
Early.
I mean, legitimately, there's no way JP would love this issue. There's just except for the fact that it ends with him leaving.
Yeah,
that's it.
Hey, we got Jason in the house. What's going on, Southern Comic Geek? Good to see you. And I saw Matt earlier as well. Appreciate
Maddie
you, brother.
dropping the green hearts for Sam.
Absolutely. Good stuff.
Yeah. I got my whole Sam Spiderweb, the Spider-Man stuff going on behind me.
I love it.
Here.
I love it. Mm-hmm. Love what you're doing too, posting every day.
I didn't realize how many Spider-Man books I have, and I do a lot.
Yeah, that's great. A lot of people are tagging in with that too, which is awesome.
It's so cool. I appreciate everybody doing that.
Mhm.
Yep. So I completely hear both of you, and ultimately for me, I really fall I think I fall in between you two. I really agree with a lot of the points that you all said. I think for me, since I read it as I never kind of what you're saying, John, I never read those earlier issues before. So other than knowing some of the iconic storylines, which are really just the first one, and I don't know, Magneto or whatever, I didn't know much. So this was a nice kind of recap to that. As someone reading it for the first time, I would recommend it. Yes, I would recommend it because if you only started with Claremont, especially, it is nice to kind of get a little glimpse and an understanding of, oh wow, they went through all this, and didn't realize that some of these other characters played such a significant role, and especially again, keep in mind, as you mentioned before, you got to keep in mind of when this came out, what the goal was for this, and trying to get new readers back into this thing. Right. It's hey, let's we're introducing little, characters of the old here and there. Let's kind of hint to them, hey, they did a lot of stuff before, we started to rewrite them with Claremont and all this other stuff. And
you're talking about almost, in the neighborhood of 8 years of comics before Claremont.
Right.
And then all the Claremont stuff that was the last 40 something issues.
Yep.
It's a lot of ground to cover. And I feel like they wanted to give her death weight.
Yep.
So you got to respect that, right?
Totally. Yeah. No, I agree. I think overall, I would probably give it a 9. Give it a 9. No, I definitely. I think just again from my personal experience of kind of how I fell into reading it, and how it was helpful to me. I do agree, Verno, that it is certainly a bit dry. Going through some of it.
Totally.
But as Ryan said earlier, it is a nice glimpse of history here, as he put it. A fantastic issue for the history of the X-Men. To that point, he said, as for the issue paying tribute to Jean, he says that it fails. Yeah. He says the Toys R Us shopping spree. Heck yeah, I'll take it.
So I want to take umbrage with this because I know a ton of people that burn on this issue and the previous one when they're talking about, hey, win the 10-speed bicycle or win, I freaking nostalgia burn on those. I love it. I dig it. Same. When they have those silly banners that are ridiculous.
I like this one more than the previous one for whatever reason.
The 10-speed bicycle.
The other one kind of bugs me. I don't know why. I don't know.
Or the one that says this comic could be worth $10,000.
Yeah,
you.
I have a bunch of Thor ones that has that too. Yeah.
For something about it, it's almost. It's not the same, but it's almost like the checkerboard DC logo banner that goes in the Silver Age that runs across the top of the first Poison Ivy and all these great comics have this fun checkerboard cover. For me, it just dates the book as a certain.
Defines that era for them. Yeah.
Right,
yeah.
And so for me,
it would be weird to not see it.
Actually, I just want to know who won the freaking 10-speed bicycle.
Who
got the damn 10-speed?
Right.
I want that guy's name. I want to know his name. Who's the guy?
That's funny.
That would be great to find out.
That's the only thing that bothers me about it.
What's up, Kenneth? We got Kenneth in the house. Good to see you. JP, I said if he never came back, it would be an all-time favorite issue of the X-Men. # good riddance, Cyclops. Yeah. We got J-Hood in the house. Jamie, what's going on, brother?
I feel like the issue when he comes back, we need to have JP on just to dive deep into the who hates or loves Cyclops and why. I feel like there's a great discussion here somewhere. Why do you hate Cyclops?
Perhaps we'll have it on,
or inversely, why do you like him?
We'll have to have it.
It's an interesting discussion.
We should have them all go over to Morbius's channel for a nice triggered opportunity.
Suck.
For his show. I think it'd be perfect for comedy.
Now, if you tell me you're not a Professor X fan, I get it. I'm like, Professor X is not a good teacher.
Right.
Cyclops is just a leader dealing with a really bad teacher giving him guidance. That's how I feel about Cyclops. Is he's trying to be the best he can be, but he's got a really bad teacher. And I blame the teacher for most of his bad choices.
There you go.
So there's me.
John can say that because he is.
That's why I like Cyclops and don't like Professor X.
Yeah. All right, let me share my screen here. Let's get into the issue because we have a bit to dive into. And again, I'm not sure how this is going to go. You guys can kind of feel free. Obviously, I'm going to throw it your way.
I'm excited about this.
But yeah, feel free to elaborate or not elaborate on
or just tell you to skip. Go.
Just so So I will warn you all, I definitely took like full screenshots of a lot of this because I didn't want to, I didn't know what, like each panel was a story in its own. So
right.
I didn't want to
Every
like
panel
necessarily
is
cut
like
them
an
out.
entire comic or
Right.
two or
Yes.
three.
Yeah. Yeah. So I wanted to keep them in case there's any conversation that, you guys want to kind of go into. So as always, let's start. Well, we kind of started to touch on the cover talking about the Green Banner, but John, tell me about the rest of this particular cover. What do you think of it?
I love this cover and this copy. If you could touch it, you would feel. I joked about how my copy of the first appearance of Bishop is one that I used to lay paper on top of and trace, and you can see the dents in that issue. Same problem here. I thought this is legitimately one of my favorite drawings of Cyclops. Like the physicality of his like posture. The feet, hands, torso, head, like everything is perfectly drawn. It is a phenomenal drawing of Cyclops. Then you add the X-Men in light blue in the background, like tragically watching him leave. And then the pink, this amazing like wall of pink with all these amazing X issues. It is a phenomenal cover. One of my all-time favorite covers from the X-Men. Like it's top 20, not top 10, top 20 great covers. And it's so great that it has been duplicated again and again. You look at what is it? New Mutants 99
right
is an homage to this with Sunspot leaving the New Mutants. They've done this cover again and again. It's a great way to show exactly what this comic is.
Yeah,
right.
A character leaving the team. And again, yes, Jay Hood, the color usage on these Uncanny Claremont issues, a ton of pink and purple used beautifully. And yeah, it all works for me. I even like the Toys R Us banner. I'm all in.
Again, unless you have the white variant that John has. That's the only other.
It is a rarity. It's a rarity. If you can get this cover, like go for it. I'm all for it. It is admittedly a copy I need to upgrade. But clearly I'm in the market to buy Chet's 9.2 so that he can get his 9.6. So it's happening.
Take his garbage and make it your treasure,
Every man's trash is another man's treasure.
That's right. Yep. That's right. Verno, what are your thoughts on this cover here?
John said it quite well, man. It's iconic. It's awesome. Cyclops looks great. And I'll say what I don't like is when covers have nothing to do with what's inside the book. This says it perfectly.
Yeah.
It's about Cyclops. It's about him leaving. It's about him being upset, mourning Jean, and it's about the history of the X-Men. It says it all right there. And the usage of colors, beautiful. And then I think it's Terry Austin out here, right? Yeah, Terry Austin. He never gets the credit. He probably does get the credit, but he should get more credit even. Like Terry Austin is the best inker to maybe ever do it. So anything that he's on is just gorgeous. But yeah, I love it, man. It's one of my favorite classics for sure.
We look at like Cyclops' costume, which is like a mixture of blue and black, and inker is what makes the definition appear there, right? Because they're adding all that black to make it really pop. And his costume is one that really needs good inking.
Yep. One thing too I really like about that I never really noticed up until recently looking closer at this is the detail of the that there's comic book issues in the pink faded throughout, just kind of showing, again, just hinting that this is what's to come in this issue. As you said, Vern, I love that. I always talk about, let's have the cover be relevant to whatever we're about to read. And this definitely spots on, everything.
I wonder how that was done. I wonder if he actually drew all those. It's like before digital, but it looks so accurate. Did they use some kind of like scanning and put it all in there and then recolor it? I'm curious about that, how it was done. I don't think it was drawn again. I think they used some other kind of process.
Yeah, they clearly was some kind of matting.
Right.
But yeah, you'd think that, like pre-digital, they would have to actually get those covers and somehow like scan them or something. I don't know. It's pre-scanning. I don't know how they did it either. I'm curious. This is a great comment. I'm so glad you highlighted Jackson
Whitekirk. Yeah.
If they'd put him in his civvies, right? But I mean, it wouldn't. it's got to be that the way they drew the costume, Byrne drew the costume so good. But I agree, like it would make more sense.
Yeah, and Bronze Page says, "Hey guys, in chat, JP is no Cyclops fan. I see. Yeah, I mean,
but don't let him browbeat you. Don't let him browbeat you. We got 3 Cyclops fans right here, so don't let JP run the chat. JP and Brandon are 2 people. They're loud people, but there's only 2.
Cole is asking, is Batman in this comic? Cole, you're gonna have to stick around and find out.
Keep watching.
Yeah, that's right.
No.
By the way, I should clarify as I completely like skipped and forgot, but hang tight after we break this issue down, because we do have 4 questions for you as always. And if you're wondering how to enter into some of our giveaways that we have at the end of this season, that is how you can get your name in that raffle, is to stick around and answer those questions.
The boy who had 7, he only answered 1 question correctly last year, and he freaking won an amazing slabbed comic.
Yeah.
So just 1 entry. All you need.
All it takes. All right, I'm going to move on here. Let's dive into this just kind of introduction here. John, what are your thoughts here?
Well, firstly, pink strikes again, right? Pink and purple really used well.
The leaves,
and then
it's like fall.
And then to Verno's point, look at the Austin inking, a ton of black.
Yeah,
I love that this first drawing, and then to look at the next panel you chose, pink and purple as the overlay back. I mean, I can't get into it enough. I just love the color and inking work on these 2 pages. Beautiful.
Oh yeah,
agreed. Verno, what are your thoughts there?
I love it, dude. I love that everything is black. Like I'm kind of saying similar to what you just said, but I love it. Makes everybody stick out so much. All the faces pop so much. I'll tell you what I don't like are those 2 dialogue boxes when it gets low, that the one that you're supposed to read first is below the one that you're supposed to read second. That drives me nuts. That just, both times I read this, I accidentally read the wrong one first because it was higher. But other than that, my nitpick, it's beautiful art, man. It sets up the whole idea of the episode or the issue.
This is why I preach about digital, because it guides you.
It took you there.
Just saying.
If they set it up correctly, it guides you to the right one first, right?
Yes. No, I'm with you guys. I mean, this is definitely an emotional, kind of set of pages here, and definitely sets the tone for what we're about to get into. And again, just after what we had just been through, obviously a lot has happened, and losing a member here, it makes sense that this is going into this like it is. So,
and shout out to the bravery, or at least the ingenuity of a Byrne or a Claremont to say, what we're going to do with this second panel. I know the new team is what we're all about. I'm going to do old team. We got Beast, Angel, Iceman, and we're going to throw it with Psyche in there. Like that's because the point of this issue, right, is the history of the team.
Yeah.
So the original 4 guys, who by the way all at different points had a crush on Jean Grey, throw all 4 of those guys into a panel right there at the get-go, because that's the crux of what we're going to be showing in this issue. That was a really cool move.
Yep. Agreed. Hey, we got 62 Lefty Blues in the house. Good to see you. All right, so let's see. Moving on here. All right, so for those who have no idea what we're about to like, or what we're hinting towards, is the fact that this whole thing, literally each panel breaks down a different issue that starts all the way back from issue 1 and just like kind of highlights key parts of each issue, or a lot of the issues anyways, building up to what had happened. So this is where, again, I just put a couple screenshots of the first couple pages here to kind of show you. We get a glimpse of, again, at the top there, seeing the team working together for the first time, training, meeting each other, right off the bat in issue 1. You have Professor X there, and then even going down as you see some of these other panels, then you see Jean Grey arrive for the first time. This is where the entire team kind of gets to meet her and set eyes on her for the first time, and then the team all go and battle Magneto, which is an infamous issue, and very pricey one at that, as well. And just seeing all this stuff happening all within the first issue here, and then jumping over, you start to see some of these other villains that have come into play, including Wanda and her brother, Obviously we know a lot of history that ties into the X-Men throughout all of that. You see Toad and the rest of them. Some of these stories, by the way, and again, I'll pass it to you guys. Feel free to chime in on any of this. But some of these stories I'm not very familiar with, and that's again, like reading this the first time around when I did, it was interesting to me because I'm like, I didn't know this. I just didn't know this. So, what are your thoughts here? Verno, I'm going to throw it to you first. What are some of your general thoughts, or if there's anything you want to kind of pinpoint out on these first couple pages?
Right. Well, these are like the actual, some of the few that they highlight before they get to the Claremont era that I am familiar with, because I've read the Jack and Stan era, which I do recommend like going back and checking out. A lot of people say that as far as like Jack and Stan's comics that they did, or their different titles, that the X-Men are some of the lesser, compared to the Fantastic Four, the Avengers. But I really like the first like 17 issues. They're pretty dope. So I love seeing Byrne's take on it. And what they're telling here, most of this takes place in the first like 5 or 6 issues. Like Magneto shows up and Stan Lee just loved him. And he put him, like, you get a heavy dose of Magneto right off the bat. But my favorite thing, it's always going to be Iceman. Everybody's like, oh, who's this hot girl? Oh my God. They're all so excited about it. And knowing what we know now about Bobby Drake, the fact that he's like, oh, it's just a girl. That's no big deal. I love that.
Yeah.
It's just like, it cracks me up so much. You would imagine Stan Lee at the time, it's because he was like the kid, even though they looked the same age, he was portrayed as the kid. But I just love it, the way that it fits in with his current state in X-Men comics. It always gives me a chuckle. But
yeah.
Good stuff.
Totally. John, what about you? What are your thoughts here?
So, I mean, I joke with my bestie Alec about like Silver Age sucks. Like that's our like mantra, our joke, because it's just really hard to read. And Silver Age comic books, you have to have a certain nostalgia, and I think you have to have a certain attitude diving in to read. And I absolutely agree with Verno. Like I've got a hardcover of the first few issues of X-Men. I got a hardcover for the Marvel Masterworks, a few issues of Daredevil. I think you have to have a certain mindset going in because they're so wordy. There's so much exposition on every single panel. This is a fun way to kind of like give you that history. And it's almost in a Silver Age comic style. Like, look how much words are on a page in every one of these panels. Even like it's very Silver Age-esque, very Stan Lee. Let me give you 1,000 words when 5 will do kind of style.
Right.
And so for me, like I can enjoy it as a kid who just wanted all this information, like reading Marvel's universe where you get like a page for every character. Like it felt like a ton of backstory for noobs. I agree, Ryan.
Yeah. Because
I was a noob. I hadn't read a bunch of this.
Yep.
Having gone back and read it, sure, it's redundant. Like I know it. But again, to Verno's point, like a mind-blowing point that I'd never considered before this was give John Byrne a chance to take a shot at some of these iconic moments and characters. Like, wow, like that is exactly what I'm paying my $5 or whatever. 50 cents. I was paying my 50 cents for when I bought this off the shelf,
which was like $5 back then.
That just hurt my mind. 50 cents. Yeah, that's what I paid. I did not pay 50 cents for my sunburned cover. So for me, that's what I get out of these pages.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree there. Definitely gives you those vibes, the old school vibes there. And great point about Iceman there, Verno. I rereading this for again, like I just kind of made me look back and think, everything that we know now.
And he does actually say that line in X-Men #1. I don't know if it's that exact line, but that is taken right out of it. So
Nice. So yeah, here's just some more pages as we're kind of flipping through. I do like that it kind of goes back and forth from scene to scene. So like some of the scenes takes place where it's, again, we're like at this point, we're kind of getting to 1 or 2 panels that's kind of really explaining a specific issue, and then it kind of jumps back to them being at the funeral again. So I like the idea of that, and also the funeral images. I've noticed that the backgrounds, they're always like a solid blue or a solid pink, just to kind of give you that separation.
With a little purple like out edging for the characters, like a little of that edging.
Yep. Yeah, so it's interesting. We get Kazar down there at the bar, or Kazar.
Yeah,
down,
little
down
known
at the bottom.
fact, I modeled for that, which is that is me. That is me. So like, I mean, if you didn't know, that's the value in this issue.
The little cat, right? Is that what you're talking about? Next one?
No,
Here. Oh,
the loincloth. I'm the loincloth. I'm very hairy.
Also, I don't know this.
Forge, Comic Forge. What's going on?
Oh, hey. Oh, I had to switch here.
I
Principal
distracted
Defects
you.
in the house. Yeah. What's going on, fellas? Good to see you. All right. So, yeah, I don't know this alien on the right at all. Verno, were you familiar or do you recall who that was?
No, man. Like the only
Okay.
thing that I can really like, my only comments on this page are how windy was it in the room where Cerebro is kept? Why is the smoke blowing off of his pipe so strong to the right? Like what? Well, close the window if you're gonna light that thing.
Yeah.
But other than that, no, this is the era that I've got a big gap in my reading between Claremont and Stan Lee.
Okay.
I'm sure that this is when all of like
Yeah.
a handful of the next ones kind of take
But
place.
shout out to, I think Neil Adams did a few issues of that that time frame of X-Men, and a bunch of my favorite all-time X covers are in that Neil Adams stretch. He did some amazing work, and I know people are like, "Wait, Neil Adams did X-Men?" Yeah, and you should definitely look for it. Really talented, obviously artist, and to have him do some of my favorite characters. All about it.
I will say, like, because I've flipped through that entire era because I've got it all in books, but there's some amazing art in there, especially when they change outfits for the first time.
Yes,
I don't know if
great cover. My man Rod sent me that first time they have new costumes cover. So good.
That's in here, I think, right? And
Verno knows his X-Men, man. I mean, he is the Cerebro, but let's be honest.
Yeah. We get the Juggernaut here in this next couple of scenes here, and we finally get to see some pink and purple robots as well. Again, we're kind of up in that, issues 12, 13, 14, 15, when we between, seeing the Juggernaut and some of these pink and purples. So yeah, this was just some more, again, cool stuff. I couldn't find a clever enough gift, so I just threw that in there.
Hey, clever enough for me, bro.
Yeah. Go ahead, Verno. I'll pass this over to you.
I guess I was wrong about when the other ones take place, because if it's going chronological, then that's all part of the Stan and Jack era. I will say probably my favorite issue of the Stan and Jack era is the Kane Marco introduction. That's one that I recommend everybody go back and read. It's got Professor Xavier's origin story, and I think it's probably the best one of that era. And then one of the silliest ones is this Angel Cyclops Iceman. I can't think of his name. John, you remember his name? Anybody know who that dude is with the wings? Because that's a good issue too. The Mimic, yeah, that's pretty solid stuff too.
Yeah, some of these I was
wasn't
like,
he like issue 5 or 3?
Somewhere.
He was like a really early issue, the Mimic. I thought, but maybe I'm remembering wrong. But yeah, the Mimic, he could, for whatever reason, he was just basically an amalgam of all of the X-Men minus Jean, because like there was no real Jean Grey connection, but he could he looked like Beast, had the lasers, had the wings. I think there was some ice connection, but like
he's like Super Skrull, but for the X-Men.
Exactly.
There you go.
So less cool. If possible.
John, any other thoughts here on this? Kind of any of the layouts or anything?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the main thing to see on these two pages is Juggernaut, and seeing, all the little moments to throw back to his early days. I love the GIF is great. So yeah, I think that's it's kind of like, look at all the villains, and I might use some of these later on, but here we are, and let's just keep going.
Yeah.
Right. And then, of course, the Sentinel, the first appearance of that. That's back to John, your point. Like, you have to be in a certain state of mind to enjoy these. I really just kind of get off. I'm like, oh, that's the first time you saw that. Like that. If you enjoy that stuff, then you're going to enjoy this era more. Like first appearances and just, seeing the beginning of an idea that grows into something larger later on.
Totally. Seeing other writers kind of take them on and reintroduce them. Agreed. All right, let's keep this going here. So a little downtime moment. This is just a scene, again, just seeing Cyclops kind of reminiscing of the time that he is able to, have an opportunity with Jean there.
Give me that first kiss. I mean, it was so like if you read the Silver Age X-Men, a big part of it is like I jokingly say it's got an Archie vibe, that those early issues have a very much like all these dudes vying over the one girl. There's a ton. Everybody seems to admit at one point or another, like, she's really cute. Like, we should check her out.
It's like that
even
high school
Professor X
drama.
pervs on her in an early. Look at Verno, just went wide-eyed, like, yeah, he does. It's really weird. And I think this was a big moment when it was kind of like she decided, you know, I'm going to give that guy a shot. And this was a big moment for them, for sure.
Yeah. You're talking about Cartman, right? Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I'm just looking at this just look at that word balloon and how many words are in there.
Right.
He is talking her ear off. She's like, just shut up and kiss me.
That's why she was there. She's like, okay, stop. Like, you had me at hello. You had me at I don't remember much of my childhood.
Right.
Hits her with a novel. Yep.
No. Yeah, good stuff.
You got to wear her down.
Yeah. All right, jumping in here. We get a bunch of villains, more villains, and I didn't know about this, like kind of what they call the Factor 3.
So good.
I just figured I'd throw in all those other villains.
Is that Dracula on the end? I love it. Dracula, Freddy, Vader, and Jason. I mean,
they're part of the Factor 3, John.
I do like it. It looks like Jason's trick-or-treating, but nobody else is.
It's funny. Like when I read this was my thought. It's like the Factor 3. It sounds silly, but had it been more successful and had there been tons and tons of comics, it wouldn't have sounded silly to us anymore. Like imagine when if Superman wasn't famous, like Superman, that's such a stupid name. Batman, what do you mean? You know what I mean? Like, it's only because we grew up knowing these names that they don't sound weird. This Factor 3 could have been iconic. They missed the mark. If it was Factor 4, then we'd be talking about him.
Right.
I was gonna say careful because Cole's in the chat. He was asking about Batman. So
and I always
really
thought it was
teasing
hilarious that like Magneto, who believed that what he was doing was righteous and believed that what he was doing was the good thing, called his group the Evil Mutants.
Right.
Why are you naming your team the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants? You're the freaking good guys in your own minds. Why would you call your team evil?
I love it.
What a moron. Like, what a moment where he's like, okay, I believe we're doing the right thing. We need to get rid of these guys. But you know what we're going to do? We're going to call ourselves evil. Just
but it'd be a really cool name.
It's ironic. It's an ironic name.
I'm hoping that Hickman brings back the Factor 3. I think that's going to be a thing. It's one of my guesses.
X Factor became a huge thing.
So I'm saying.
So I mean,
you
could
throw a 3 on there,
this is the creation of that idea, the germ, the seed.
Yep. I'm going to go out and buy a bunch of X Factor 3s. Just
panel below that's one of my favorite panels in this issue. Like I love. I wish I could think of who was it, like Roy Thompson or Roy Thomas?
Roy Thomas.
Was he the writer or the artist at that era?
Artist.
Okay. I think he's the guy that originally put him in those outfits. I could be wrong, but either way, I love that look. I heard in the last episode you guys talking about Jean Grey's look. And she catches a lot of flack for that look, but I love it. I don't care if it's
a great look,
functional or whatever. It just looks phenomenal. I love that.
Totally. Let's see. Well, I don't know who that guy is on the bottom right hand. That kind of yellowish guy. But we'll keep going here. We get Lorna.
Roy was the writer. Jackson Kirk knows what's up.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, thank you.
Roy knows about Roy. We get Mesmero here, and this is 49 and 50. I think that we
also get Polaris and Havoc.
Yeah, those are big. Obviously, some more big key characters that we kind of get introduced to here along the way, and we get some more pink and purple robots too. So that's always.
I love that they say we could tell from her green hair that she's a mutant. It's like all of the employees at my local Walmart must be mutants. I love that.
So good.
Great point.
But I mean, this was the 70s. Like that's more rare. There's a rarity.
True. Very true. Hey, we got Albert in the chat. What's going on, Albert? He says, I love the specs on Mole Man. The last one. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, good stuff there. I missed Ryan here said, good thing Evil Lynn was evil in He-Man land, or that would have been embarrassing for her.
Right.
There you go. Oh, and there's the Roy comment. Thank you, Roy Kirk. Any other things on this before? And don't mind me, guys. Again, if I'm just kind of going through this. We have a lot of slides, but
no, you're doing.
Feel
great.
free to. Yeah,
it's the way to do it.
It is the literal entire history of the X-Men.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a lot.
Right. All right. I'll jump into the next panel here. Again,
for anyone looking to jump into the X-Men and understand what they're all about, and then figure out a starting point.
Yeah.
138. There you go. Done.
Yep. We get a little bit of Sunfire here down at the bottom, and a lot of and what's his? We get Sauron here.
Sauron, yeah.
Sauron, yeah. That was
kind of isn't it Ted?
Yeah,
is it Ted Lycus?
Lycus, yep.
I love it. In the top panel, they're talking about, I think it's how they defeated the Sentinels the first time. And we tricked them into trying to destroy the sun, because without the sun, there's no humans. Without humans, no mutants. It's like, what if they destroyed the sun? Like, that would have sucked. Like, what if they were successful and didn't just fly into it?
Yeah. That's basically the my dad can beat up your dad argument, right?
Right.
It's basically you saying, like, yeah, you can beat me, but can you beat the sun? And then they're like,
dun, dun, dun.
Oh crap, we should try that. And then they're gone, and then they all burn up in the sun, and you're like, woo,
got him
taken care of.
Tricked him.
Yeah.
And then we get again kind of flashbacks again to, or flash forwards, I guess, to the funeral again there at the bottom right. And this is where Hank
explained the fact that Beast was blue. Last issue. They're like, wait, what happened?
Yeah.
And by the way, you might have missed some Avengers storylines.
Go check it out.
Oh, okay.
Go buy that issue.
Right.
Here's some of my favorite parts right here, man. We get the new team finally being introduced. This is my favorite panel in this
news
book.
Team. Get together.
Yeah, the best team ever. We got Elf here. Who the heck are you? Yeah. Obviously, you know, and I'm sure we'll kind of run through even more some of this, since we've kind of recently talked about all this stuff. But
the fact that Sunfire gets so much play in this issue, when the guy is like, I show up for one issue, I bitch and complain, and then I'm
he's a jerk. Yeah,
like it's his shtick at this point. I'm surprised he's lasted so long in the current X-Men run that they're doing now. Like, Jerry Duggan's like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make this guy stick with the team for more than 2 issues.
Yeah.
There you go.
I love this panel too, though. Just that look. Like, I love that look, even with Sunfire and Proud Star, R.I.P. But this just, it's so iconic looking, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
Even like, I love Colossus, you know, stance there chilling.
Mm-hmm. And then you got look at them. There's a lot of red and yellow going on here, and then all of a sudden you get to Storm, and she's like, psh, you guys are posers.
Stands out on her. Yeah. I also like the accuracy of the height there for Wolverine. It's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow he gets called a midget, and the guy's like 5'6" or 5'8".
Yeah.
Like, he's a midget. Whatever.
Brutal. All right, let's keep this going here. We get Krakoa.
Yeah.
And the Annie-Man. The Annie-Man.
Yes.
Over on the right.
Roy Kirk better be excited about the return of the Animan.
And Beta.
He's been waiting for like 40 issues for the return of the Animan.
Yeah, that's right. These were fun. These were definitely some fun. What's his name? Nefario.
Yep.
Nefario.
As if he couldn't have more of a villain name.
Right. Yeah,
he's Evilio.
Yeah.
The bad guy.
Yeah.
The bad guy.
I love that panel.
Canadian. Yeah.
For me, like, that's really what brought me into comics in a big way, was Giant Size X-Men #1. I mean, I went through a bunch of different eras, but what got me obsessed was the first Omnibus, Volume 1 to this. So that always going to hold a special place in my heart. And then just it's cool, like, where Krakoa is at now. Spoiler alerts, he's a big deal. You know what I mean?
So,
yeah.
He's got a twin, apparently.
Kind of a big deal. That's right. Chet here says Nefaria is a good villain. We haven't seen him ever again, right? Was that
not so much? I'm sorry, Jackson. It was Beta Ray Jim.
Beta
that was the big. The big fan.
Yeah,
my bad.
Sunfire, yes. McSquirter, no.
That's what really hurt this issue. Kept it from a 9.2.
Proud Star dying there in the plane. It's a pretty big moment.
we get the return of the Sentinels.
Fighting robots is a challenge.
Yes,
I mean, I've been reading Not All Robots, and it's a bit of a challenge.
See, that's what I'm saying. So I wanted to give a close up of what really happened in that issue.
This is what it looks like when Beast fights a Sentinel. Because really, what is he gonna do? He's gonna punch the robot. He's gonna jump around it. I don't know. He's not Wolverine is designed to battle Sentinels. Beast, not so much.
Not so much.
I always love that the Sentinels always announce themselves. We are the Sentinels. We're here to destroy the mutants. It's like, okay, appreciate that.
Yep. Thanks for the heads up. Thanks for not sneaking up on us.
And plus, what they're flashing to there, that is, like I say, giant size. Giant size got me into it, but I was just kind of force feeding myself these classic Bronze Age comics until I got to number 98 there. Yeah, and the story that it tells that leads in eventually to the Phoenix Saga. Like, I love that arc that starts at 98.
So good.
Yeah, agreed. Some of my favorite stuff.
99 is a phenomenal cover too. 99, 101 are two of my faves. They're just beautiful artwork.
Yeah,
all three in a row. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
98 with
and 100. Yeah, 98. Yep.
Classic stuff. And 98 has the, what do you call it? The my favorite intro of them and it's like Christmas time. Yep. They're in the city, and I always say this. I always like to bring it up, but like that's moments like that where you get to see the team doing like regular everyday type things, and especially during the holidays, which is my favorite time of year.
And then
like
fighting big purple robots.
Yeah, out of nowhere. You never know. You never know.
You're in space. So I say that too, and that's the issue, that the team became a family. You know what I mean? You see them in regular
team. Yeah.
Sure. This old man's cracking me up here. Just getting at that.
So
constantly. Good. Chat says Avengers 158 Nefarious shows up again after X-Men 95. Did not know that. Ryan says, just had an amazing thought. We need a comic book called Giant Size Sentinels.
Take my money. Take my money now.
Yep. Sign me up. Kickstarter. Let's go. Let's do it. Let's keep this going here. Again, just threw on a bunch of panels here. We talked about all this stuff. I mean, this is all stuff we've covered. I love that they have
spending time on the Mcron crystal.
The Mcron crystal. We got the Mesmero posing there on the desk again. That classic pose of his. He just
Alpha Flight gets a ton of page time as well here. Like Alpha Flight is all over this. You know,
I mean, they were kind of clumped together in some of those issues there. Yep.
These are more of my favorite issues. All of the Shi'ar stuff. This is such a good era, man. It's just this makes me want to go back and reread all that stuff. It's really what it does.
Yep. And then we get what's his name there on the bottom right, Wingard and Mastermind. Yeah.
And what's his name? Little Punk.
I was trying to think of the clown.
It starts with an M, doesn't it?
Wait.
Murder World. We're talking about Murder Arcade. There you go. For Murder World. Yeah.
See, that's why we have Verno here.
That's right.
I'm already drunk enough that I'm like, I don't remember that guy. I hate that guy.
We're like, John, that's Cyclops, John. Eric says Sauron appeared in the Marvel Unlimited app X-Men Infinity Story arc. Okay.
Mind blown. Eric dropping the knowledge.
Did not know that. Yeah. They dissed Eric the Reds epic build. Yeah, that's right. What that
mean? Hashtag worth it.
Yeah. Ryan says Banshee went bad. Oh, never mind. That's Arcade.
Yeah. It's so funny. We discussed that on those early issues where people are like, oh, that's Banshee. And it's like, that's Arcade.
Yeah, little mix up. They both have two eyes though. You got to give it to them. You know, two eyes, one nose. Let's keep this going here. We get Kitty Pryde here as we meet the Hellfire Club. We get Emma. You know, again, what Verno just said, like these. I mean, we talked about all. It's just so on and on, like so many great issues and so many great storylines that we get through these.
I'm kind of surprised, like how much they recapped the Phoenix Saga in this, having it followed right after it. But I guess it makes sense, you know, because if you're wanting to get new readers, it makes sense to do that. But
in the assumption that they didn't read anything at all. Yeah.
Right. And they didn't know how iconic the Phoenix Saga would be and how of a must read it would become.
Yeah, very true.
They did want to set up the next regular issue, which would be a big Kitty Pryde issue. So for them, there was a lot of motivation to make sure that Kitty Pryde's story of dealing with some of these hellfire knuckleheads could play out in their comic.
Which I love Kitty Pryde, by the way. I think when she comes in, like the stuff that you guys are going to be covering coming up here, she's an injection of life into the team in the comics.
Right.
Sorry, Verno.
No,
Ryan
I know I
screwing
missed
me up
something.
here.
There's a lot of comments happening.
Ryan says,
The chat's on
okay.
fire.
He says, I have to say this. Lilandra at Jean's funeral. Awkward.
Right. I did
a
just
little bit.
organize a giant battle to kill you. But but
Very
single tear on face.
great. It's a great point. Roy Kirk says, now we're rehashing our shows. Yeah, that's right. Hey, we got Kevin in the chat. What's going on, Kevin? Entropy in Comics. Good to see you. Greetings. And I agree, Eric. Johnny Depp as Arcade for the MCU. I could see him being an Arcade.
I could see
that. Chet is talking about 137. It's a story that took an original member and changed the X-Men landscape. Yeah. Yeah.
Yoko
All right.
Ono.
Let's jump into let's keep this going here. I think I got a couple other slides here. Oh, this is like right towards the end now. So this I had to throw this in here, just showing the door. Go ahead, there it is. Leave. Cyclops, just having his moment here, saying that he's gonna go, and Professor X understands. Of course, Nightcrawler acting like that, like little kid, like, wait, man, what? You can't leave. Where you gonna go, man? What's up? So love that, him kind of jumping in here. But
Nightcrawler
this is
always the one to kind of like
lighten it up.
The I don't want to say bleeding heart, but certainly the appreciation and caring, the sympathy, the empathy of the team. Nightcrawler always being that character. I love that. I love it. Great use of his character.
Yeah. Verno, any thoughts here on this?
Yeah, I mean they look great. It's your standard stuff.
Yeah. He's ready to go. So let's see wrapping this up at the end here. Boom, we get Kitty, as Verno mentioned, big fan. And she's showing up.
Jeans. Look
at
What do you think her shirt says?
Yes.
I've never noticed that until right now. What does it say?
I don't know. I think it says what I think it says, but
that's funny. That's so weird.
Yeah, interesting.
That's hilarious.
She's a disco.
Yeah. Now enter the awkward relationship between Kitty Pryde and Colossus for the next several years in X-Men comics. Enjoy that. It's so cringy.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to research exactly how close in age we can figure out they were at this time.
She's 13 and a half, and he's like 17 or 18. I think he's 18 at one point. They make it very clear that it's like 14 and 18, but it was the 70s. I guess things were a bit different, but
yeah,
it's interesting. Well, that's one thing I like about reading old comics is it, like, you can read history, you can hear about history, but like reading this, you can infer a lot about the society at the time. And the fashions. Like, I love reading through the X-Men and just seeing the fashion of the time change and everything. It's interesting. It's awesome.
Yeah, good point. Che here saying, Colossus 18, Kitty 13. It was the 80s, he says. And Ryan here said, disco makes me think of Dazzler. Yep.
As it should.
Yep, absolutely. He's a very large 18. Yeah.
Problematic.
All right. Anything else on this particular issue before we get into the numbers here, fellas? I think we covered the entire.
I think we covered it. It's a lot of Cyclops's look back, and so as a result, it's all skewed to his perspective. And I think, depending on how you feel about Cyclops, I think you would feel a certain way about this issue. Yeah, but for me, it worked.
Right. I'm glad. Like I said, it's a great resource. It's nice to catch up on. I love seeing the art. I love seeing the inking, and it's a cool comic for what it is. Right. It's a little long-winded, as we've said, but it's nice. As I say it again, it motivates me to want to go read more of these stories for sure.
Totally. Absolutely. Cool. Well, as we wrap this portion up, we're going to get into the numbers and the significance of the issue here. Key elements, mainly Cyclops leaves the X-Men. And then I just put in other information, recaps the X-Men's history, as you all know that are here watching right now. we have interesting stuff here. So I'm going to start on the right. There are 4 9.9s, and Chet is not one of those 4.
Get off the couch, Chet.
Yeah, man. Chet, you're being lazy, man.
Seriously.
At this point. 9.2.
And apparently a 9.2 is a fair market value of $50. So if you want $50 for your Stan Lee signed copy of this in a 9.2, happy to pay that. Plus, I'll throw in shipping. Whatever it costs. So hit me up on Instagram, Chet.
What a guy. Very nice. Yeah. And this is a 9.8. I mean, it's 200 fair market value. 9.8 is
these are cheaper than that's cheaper than I would have thought, man. And that's like CGC graded.
Yeah.
That's what these are.
Yeah. Yeah. Fair as a fair market value takes the pricing that has been anything that's been bought over several months, like years, I should say, to get the fair market value. So, things don't quite adjust to the most recent things, that have been sold, but essentially, this is kind of the ongoing price right now. And then below it, 9.6 is $75. So, again, we always like to see if there's that big of a jump or not, but it's like 2.5 times. So, it's pretty fair.
As we said in the past, there are some of these issues where the discrepancy is so much that you could buy 9.6s, press and clean, and send them back. And if you did that a few times and had one of them hit as a 9.8, it would pay for well beyond all the other ones that you'd sent in.
You just want to do it with the right issues, like 107.
You want to look also at like
any of the ones that multiply.
How old is the label on that book? You want to look at what are the defects on the book.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
You want to check the
huge defects. Bumps are available in those early Cockrum X-Men books.
Yeah,
that's cool.
He said recently on Heritage, a signed 9.8 was like 1,400.
So get on it, buddy.
That's it, Chet. That's it. Shish, that's nothing. I just won that over the weekend, Chet.
Y'all are rude. He says y'all are rude. I mean,
psych heavy issue, and y'all are surprised it's not a high value. Very true. Roy Kirk. Yeah. Shots fired.
There it is.
All right, cool. So, and like I said, 4 9.9s, 402 9.8s. There's plenty. 9.6s, plenty. Over 500 of those as well.
I mean, I guess that 9.2 is rare, Chet. Only 200.
See, personally, I'd want to go for that 8.0 because there's only 63 in the world. So, just saying,
there it is.
That 8.0 is where I have my eyes set. Other than that, that's the old book, and I didn't update that. So boom, there you guys go. You get to check out the old book. One last glimpse. So before we get into the questions, and again, hang tight, those in the chat. We got 7 people hanging. And thanks for watching if you're here or if you're watching the replay. We always appreciate that. Smash that like button first and foremost. Secondly, make sure you're following Verno. Verno, thanks, man, for being part of the show, hanging out with us. We got to have you on again sometime soon.
I appreciate it. This was a ton of fun.
Yeah, for sure. And I anyone's wondering or doesn't follow Verno already, I put his information in the description below, and you should certainly be following him over on both Instagram and YouTube if you're not already. So make sure you sub him up there. And of course, John as well. So John, let's get into John. Let's get into these questions here. So again, anybody not familiar, we're looking for top 2 answers plus a funny answer, some sort of sarcastic, clever, whatever you want to throw in there.
You get 3 raffle tickets for every single question. So you could be the first one to be right, the second one to be right, or the funniest person in the end. And we'll throw you into the raffle for when we finish Omnibus, not Volume 2. How many things can we give away? Because we give away a ton. I'm going to kick it off. I'm going to cut you off. I'm going to dive in first.
Do it.
Last week or 2 weeks ago, we were dealing with issue 137, pivotal issue, death of Jean Grey. Some huge things going on. I compared, in our episode, we discussed it. I compared the big sort of team versus team battle. I compared it to a movie franchise. Which movie franchise did I compare issue 137's climactic battle to?
Dun, dun, dun.
Hey, Verno's in the chat. What's on, Verno?
Hey, we got the Cerebros hanging out.
The Cerebros are here.
I saw that button last week. I'm like, need it,
dude. I looked on Amazon. It's like, seriously, that's what they want for one of those stupid buttons? What's wrong with me?
How much was it?
It was like $20 for a stupid button.
Oh, I got mine as a gift, so I'm not sure. Just get it as a gift, John. Easy.
That's what I got to do for Christmas. Buy me the
Boom.
button.
There you go.
That
Tell
is-
Charlie. Tell Charlie.
Yeah,
you know?
Charlie. Hey, put your piggy bank money together.
Yeah.
Which movie franchise? It's a franchise, so not one movie. Goonies doesn't. It's one movie. It's not a franchise at that point. You expect too much from my memory. It's been 2 weeks, Jason.
Jason, come on, man. Pull it
Come
together,
on,
man.
So, just as a reminder, it was like Lilandra had put together this whole team. Xavier had his whole team. They threw them into this like moon base battle atmosphere.
Mhm.
And I was like, guys, this definitely reminds me of which movie franchise? The Diana Ross filmography. Lasso. We're not ready for comic answers yet. No comedy yet. You're too early. Buy John the Button. This is the best hashtag.
Yeah.
It's not
Suicide Squad,
I
Star
mean,
Wars.
Ultimately, that's what it was for our team because they got their asses.
Oh, buddy. This might
Nobody watched the episode. Fast and the Furious.
Ragnarok.
I mean, Lefty might have just earned a point. Seven Samurai is not a franchise, you guys. More than one movie. The heck.
There's been a million movies made copying Seven Samurai, so maybe that's what they made.
You know what? That's fair. That's a good point. Bruno. Come on, gang. Come on, gang.
Bobby De La Ghetto. What
I
up,
even
bro?
showed. Here's a hint. I even showed a Stanley Tucci gif. Stanley Tucci. That's the gif. I'm just looking for some love for Stanley Tucci because I'm watching his cooking show, his travel show he's doing. I think it's on Amazon. I don't remember. He's traveling around Italy because he's Italian heritage. So good.
John, I think you've stumped. I've
I've legitimately stumped our chat with what Verno got the answer backstage. Verno's like, I know the answer.
I literally just watched it as
Okay,
I was just hanging out today. So
He did his
Stanley
homework,
Tucci.
folks. Did his homework.
I needed to get in the vibe, in the Omni X-Men vibe.
That's right.
And I
That's
think
right.
I will say 76th annual is about as far as I'm going to go with hints on this. It's the 76th annual. Come on, people. Come on.
Now you're just getting it to him, John.
I feel like I am, but I'm also drunk at this point because I've not had dinner. I got out of the car.
You
put this
haven't had
shirt
dinner?
on, I went to the bathroom.
Not having
sat-
dinner, how does that make you feel? Oh, never
lightheaded.
mind. No more clues.
There it is. Jason.
That's
No,
good.
sorry. Lefty. Lefty was first. Lefty.
Bruno was setting people up
And
there.
then
He was helping
Jason.
people out. So, all right, yeah,
Fine.
Lefty.
Okay, Lefty's got one here. And Jason claiming, not climbing.
Not Alan.
I got Jason. Gotcha. Now, there's a ton of funny answers here. Did you have a favorite Verno that you liked? I mean, Fast and the Furious is funny.
Fast and the Furious is funny. Kill Bill. I mean, just putting The Godfather on there, like
Who
that's
was
like
that?
One of my favorite things.
Jay Hood.
But
Let's give it to Hood then.
Yeah.
He's not even on here. Yeah, he's on here. He's got 3, so this is his
Police
4th.
Academy. Damn it, that's even better.
I mean, you want? I'll give one to Bobby at the same time.
There you go. There you go.
Whoa.
Let's give one to Bobby.
You guys taking advantage of John here. Now he's just throwing them out.
John is
Throwing
just
points
giving
out
away
there.
raffle tickets. So Bobby got one, and Jay Hood, you got one. There you go. Right. There you go.
All right. Next thing up here, I'm going to go with my first question. What's the name of the robot that we met on the last page of last issue? Give us the name of that robot.
I still don't know it.
I don't know
asked
it
me this
either.
backstage. I was like, crap.
I know what he looks like, but I don't know his name. So I'm curious to see who's got this down in the chat.
Beta Ray Kevin. Victoria's Secret annual special. I mean, I buy that. Take my money. Pritzy's Honor. Eric, did you just pull out Pritzy's Honor? Jack
Yep.
Nicholson? What? I have not heard somebody reference that movie in decades. So there you go.
I've never heard someone reference
It's not
that movie.
named John's Comics with Kids.
I see the correct answer is Ryan Magic Lasso, the recorder. Recorder. And then we
Lasso's
also
like
have
finally a question I know.
And then we have Jay Hood as the second correct answer here. Jay Hood also putting recorder after he guessed Herbie. which was not close. Not close.
Rosie the robot from the Jetsons.
We got Bender. We got Rosie. We got
Bender.
Chet super late with his answer. All right.
J5. Johnny 5.
J5.
Johnny 5.
Alive.
Bobby, Verno, I'm gonna let you pick here. What's the comedy answer choice for this one here?
I mean, my boy Azores with Rosie the robot from the Jetsons is sticking out to me.
Mark it down, John.
Done it. Done and done.
John, you're keeping track of all this, right?
Great. I am. Great. It's just like my pull list. It's all handled.
Excellent.
Old school. Nick gives me crap for writing down my top 10 list. He thinks I'm a caveman with my pen and paper.
If I could find it, I have my list of runs that I'm collecting highlighted with numbers I'm missing. It's not digital.
Right. I just like it. I like to write things down. It's different.
We're not in a digital medium. Right, we're still in a paper medium that we're holding and collecting. So,
except me, but yeah, totally. John, give us your second question here.
So, Jean, when she's waiting backstage to join the Hunger Games, makes a request of Lilandra and her team. She asks for something. What is it that Jean asks for before entering these Hunger Games, the first annual X-Men Lilandra Hunger Games? What is it Jean is requesting? I didn't know this. This is a Justin question. So good. I'm gonna get a little drunker. Wow!
Boom! Alrighty.
Old school guys ready to go.
So I got Lasso first.
And Chet second.
Second, yeah.
Done and done. She asks for the old uniform.
We get a couple of
Next
funny
two
ones.
Comedy questions. Solid. Grey Poupon and a hot pocket to remove the green M&Ms from her bowl. Verno, that's part of the rider. You got to do it. But the green ones are the good ones. I feel like you remove the brown ones, right? Remove the brown ones.
I had to think of something quick.
Yeah.
That's good. Solid. It was solid.
Solid.
A 6-pack and a burrito from Taco Bell. I want the Crunch Wrap Supreme, people. If you're going Taco Bell, the Crunch Wrap Supreme is one of the best things you buy. I'm just gonna tell you, it's there. Get it. Crunch Wrap Supreme.
I made a trip earlier, but that's not what I got. But maybe next time.
So it's so easy to add the hot sauce too as well. You take one bite and you just load it up.
My fiance, anytime we're in a car and we're going to get fast food on the way to somewhere, she's like, "Let's get Taco Bell." It's like, you're killing me. That's the worst thing you could ever eat in a car.
But yet, do it. The Crunch Wrap Supreme is easy to eat in the car because it's like double wrapped. It's like so easy to hold.
That helps.
Wait, did you guys pick a winner for the comedy?
No. I will go with I want to go with Hot Pocket. I'm kind of in the Jason Hot Pocket space, unless somebody's got a better one.
Claiming comics.
So claiming with 2 comedy points tonight.
He's on fire. The man's on fire.
Last question.
All right, I got one last question here.
Justin has a show.
I got to jump. I got to jump soon here. The last question here is going to be: name the big green organic being that Beast and Colossus and the rest of the team first fight after they land into the fight zone. What's the name? This I think people are going to have to do some research on. So if you haven't, unless you just read it or you saw some of the last episode, you might, I think we only said it once or twice last episode.
I legitimately don't know.
We didn't bring much focus to this individual or individuals.
I'm not bringing much focus to this entire program this evening. Ooh, seems like some people are taking some shots.
Imagine John's been backstage this entire time. He just thinks he's part of the show. That'd be great.
It's not. It wouldn't be the first time.
It's just me and Verno up here talking, and John's just like talking to himself. I could totally see that. All right, we got Drax here. That's not the correct answer.
No. A lot of people saying Supreme Intelligence.
So the answer that I had, I see here, I only see one of, but I'm going to highlight it now anyways. Whoever can, get the quick keys to add underneath it can get the second point. But this is what I had, Warstar. as the actual name of that or those characters.
So
the green.
Who's going to copy and paste Chet?
Yeah,
that is the legitimate strategy in these trivia games. Whatever Chet says, copy and paste it as quickly as you can.
And Chet spelled it right. He didn't just give us the letter W. It's pretty good.
He did it twice. He got
it
there twice before anybody else.
I think Brandon is the next one here. Warstar.
Brandon. Thanks for coming by, Brandon. I know you're busy. You got a ton of shows.
Very unique. Very unique name there, Warstar, right?
If you missed it, Brandon interviewed one of my favorite comic book writers, Marv Wolfman, last week. And Marv lives in my general area of the world and often goes to my LCS. So I've been able to talk to him a few times. He's a great person. Besides,
I gotta check that out. That Jib Shooter the week before.
Yes, he's on fire.
Crazy.
The kid's on fire. The kid's on fire.
Yeah, it's insane.
He's a beast.
Verno, I'm gonna let you, as we close out here, I'm gonna let you pick the funny answer here. There's a few good ones.
Yeah, there's a couple I was looking at.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go with I'll go Frog in a Blender. That's a good one.
Nice. J Hood.
Frog in a Blender, J Hood, yeah.
Mark it down, John.
You got it. I got it.
Hood. You're in, man. You're in. All right, guys. Well, this has been awesome. It's been a great time. We were able to fit this in about an hour and 20 minutes. We were a little late, but appreciate everybody sticking with us this entire time. We're going to be back over on John's channel next week, so make sure you're subbed up to him to break down the annual 4. So make sure, yes, we're not jumping to 139 yet. We're going to annual 4. So, readers, be ready for that. And then, of course, if you're not following Verno, thank you so much, my friend, for joining us. We'll have to have you on again real soon. This was a lot of fun, man.
Oh yeah, man. Thanks for having me. This was fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, make sure you're subbed up to him as well. Smash that like button on the way out. Sorry, I can't hang much longer, but I do have another show coming up in just less than 10 minutes with my good friend Nick from Nick's Comic Culture.
What?
And we're going to be talking some radio. Yeah, literally.
That guy's the worst. You don't want to do anything with that guy.
I'm digging at the bottom of the barrel here.
Evidently, it must be a rough week.
He's trying to lift some people up,
Yeah.
No, that's great. Nick's the best.
Yeah, we're talking Radio Apocalypse. So if you guys have read that, you should definitely check it out. There will be some spoilers, but I can't wait to dive into that. So hopefully you swing back around for that. But again, thank you all so much for hanging out with us. We will catch you next week on John's channel. So until then, we'll catch you later. Peace.